Good morning, how's it going? I've just been putting my heart of late to do some videos on a few different things with motivational, help and support, and just life in general. And also, I'll be doing a fair few videos on my faith and what it's about for any person that's curious, wants to understand, or most questions asked. But today I want to speak about choices. Now, choices, especially in today of late, have become something that isn't taken seriously. And I see a lot of people in problems, including myself in the past and present. There's not a day that goes by that there's choices I make that I wish I could have done better. But it's a growth thing, and it's a method that I've been using to help me, and I just want to share with others. Because a lot of days we make choices not thinking about how serious they are. And what I mean about that is when we make a choice in life, a lot of times we don't think about the repercussions. And I ain't talking just about bad choices, I mean even good choices. Because if we evaluate every decision we make before we make them, a lot of things in life where we've had struggles in probably wouldn't happen. A lot of different things wouldn't happen if it wasn't for the sake we made a choice. But choices are a very serious thing, right? One, choices are only made by the person who's making them, right? So in other words, no one can force you to make a choice. There'll be a lot of people that are negative, toxic, power hungry, manipulative. They will try and put barriers or stresses on you to try force you into a choice. But no one can make you make a choice. Not God, not the devil, not your neighbor, not your mum, not your friend, only you, right? Now, the serious thing about choices, they can have an effect not only on our life, but others. Now, the power of choices, right, is a crazy thing because it has the power to make life and break life. Example, when we look at making choices, I want you to think about it as a stone, one of those flat pebbles that we throw into the water. When we ditch a rock, we used to do it when we were younger, watch them skip, but it also sends ripples, right? Now, look at choices like that. When we make a decision, not only is it going towards the choice or the reason for that choice making, but it causes ripple effects as well. So if I, for example, for a good choice, I'm walking through the shopping centre, it's raining, I see a lady and her kids holding a trolley, she wants to get to the car, and she's by herself. I got the choice to walk past and do nothing, or I have the ability to be like, hey, how would you like a hand? I can push the trolley behind you. You run, open the door, get your kids in, and I'll help you get the shopping away and put your trolley away for you. Now, those two choices I could have made, let's go for the first one. If I ignored and walked past, that person may or may not could look at this young fella that's capable, who walked past, looked at them, and continued walking as thinking, oh, these young fellas today, they don't have morals about helping, the elderly or families or women and children. They just walk off because they're selfish. So it's an attitude thing. They're making a choice and opinion, just understand. But is she wrong? This young fella has the capability of doing something. Am I busy? Am I in a rush? So these are all things we've got to evaluate, that when we make choices, what are we showing to others or the community on how to look at us? Because sometimes people get annoyed, oh, how come I keep getting treated like I'm this? Because there's many people who don't have the decency to help others because they're selfish, arrogant, They've got the attitude as, well, no one helps me. Or why should I help others? I don't know them. Or I'm in a rush. But the other thing, if I did help, that person's going to have a better evaluation on younger people, a better evaluation on men, because there's a lot of discriminating against men, because there are a lot of dicks out there who are manipulative, abusive, right? And there's this whole image at the moment that's been portrayed against men, which I'm trying to help break, and many others, as well as there's a lot of images against women too. But how are we ever going to make a difference in today's society if a lot of us are ignoring things, not trying to make a difference, instead all being part of the problem? So when I look at those two scenarios of what I could have done, not only have I helped them get into the car safe, get out the rain, help their kids, put in there, showed that, look, people do care alive. That person has probably had a bad day, and not only have you changed an attitude and outlook, you've taken the stress away, you've showed kids who are with them how to be, and you've made something that may put on their heart to do a ripple effect, to do something good for someone else later. There's many other scenarios I can show you with choices, how we do in everyday life, how we just constantly think about self. Alright? Where we need to be selfless. Right? Doesn't mean that we can't look after ourselves. You know, we got to be number one. But if you only have that attitude, you're only going to become the point that you're going to be only care about yourself to the point where no one else matters. Now, a lot of people can get like that because of hurt, past trauma, stresses, abuses. But the thing is, we got to stop holding on to these toxic things that aren't us. We can't change the past. We can't depict the future. But we can change the present. And I shared another video why it's called the present, because it's a gift. You have the ability today to make a fresh start. You have the ability today to be a better you. You have the ability today to change attitudes, change decisions, and make a better world. Now, if we look at society with our morals, everyone is about self today. You see it all over advertising. How would you like to be this? Look like this. In TV today, there's gossip and drama, and it's everywhere. And you people think, oh, it's just a show, but you are what you eat. You constantly watch and feed these things into your brain. They start to become you. Now, you want a better world, you've got to start doing the opposite. Start feeding yourself with good things and start giving it out. Another thing with choices. We can't blame life for bad things happening to us if the things happening to us are repercussions of those choices. Remember that ripple effect? Every choice has a thing. Like when you bully someone, not only are you hurting that person, but that person's going to hold that anger against you. And if anyone else treats them like that, they're going to be nasty to them. It goes on. Now, you think, oh, that's just only for a short period of time. What if that person takes their life and it affects them and affects them and eventually affects you later? And then you feel depressed and then you want to take your life because of the damages you've done to this family or this child or this person or this woman or whatever it is. See how massive ripple effect decisions make. And even sharing this video, a lot of people got laughing their head off. You know what? That's cool. I don't give a stuff. Because you're probably going to stay miserable for the rest of your life. Now, the seriousness of the reason why I'm doing this video is because when I look around in society and I hear whinging and hear complaining, you mean, it's all because of their own choices. Now, people say, well, I didn't choose to be raped, or I didn't choose to have my house broken into. I didn't choose to get bullied, right? Now, they are terrible fucking things. I'm not condoning them. I think anyone that does those things should be seriously punished. But if you went out to a place that you know that these things are going to happen or they're going to be bad people, you made a choice to go there, right? If you made a choice to hang around bad people, which end up being the reason why you bullied or you're following others or you got persuaded to do it, like everyone has a responsibility for choices, right? If we're not taking it seriously about how serious a choice is, we're always going to look for someone to blame. Now, I'll give you an example personally. I used to be on drugs, pretty bad. I started off making a choice because I thought I could make some money to help me and my partner out. In the end, it took a hold of me. It changed me into a person that I wish I never ever was. It made me verbally abusive. It made me toxic to myself and others. It changed, made me paranoid. It ruined the things that I loved, took away things that I prized. Now, in saying this, I'm only taking responsibility for me, not responsibility for anyone else involved, because there were other people that persuaded me to. There were other people that indulged in what I had. Who were my friends, loved ones. So I'm taking responsibility for me here. So when I share this, other people think, oh, here's some gossip here. I never heard this before. Well, guess what? I'm taking responsibility for me because these are choices that I need to do. I've got to own my faults. A lot of people that love to gossip or point fingers don't like to own their faults. They love to use any information they can to rubbish someone else to hide the fact that they're a miserable, lonely, yucky person. But you know what? I'm sharing this message to hopefully change you even. Change everybody. Because not only have I done that, there's been times in my past where I've been a bully. There's times in my past where I've been a liar. I've been aggressive. I've been a cheater. I've done some terrible fucking things. And I used to say to God, why is this happening to me? I've been abused. I've had bad things happen to me too. I've lived in poverty. I've lived in all this shit. But I've always said, oh Lord, but I've always had a good heart. I love these. I don't mean these things to do. Which could be true. Well, it is true. I didn't mean to do these things, but I did them. The fact of whether I didn't mean to, I did it. And I've got to take responsibility for that. And I know all the repercussions that were happening in my life are because of the choices I made. And when you acknowledge that, you can get to a higher power of self and decision making like nothing ever before. Because we've been stuck in this state of mind of woe is me, I wish this, instead of what can I do about it? I can't change the choices I've made. I can't change the decisions I've made. Or I can't change the decisions of what others think about me. That's up to them. Alright? But what I can change is me. I can try to make my future better by making the decisions that I live today better. Right? So, the first one to do that is acknowledgement of my wrongs. Forgive myself and ask others for forgiveness. Not everyone's going to accept it. You get to say, oh, I said sorry. But sometimes sorry doesn't mean just words, it's actions. And sometimes that person might be a bitter, grudgeful person. You can't change that. But what you do what you need to do because it's right. Now, in changing those decisions, am I still affected by some of those past choices? Yeah. And maybe till the rest of my life. Am I going to let that hold me? Make me who I am? No. Am I going to lead by example and start changing? Changing for the better. Changing my choices, speaking up about the things, admitting openly on my wrongs. You know what I mean? How many people who are probably watching this could do the same thing? Do a video right now sharing all your most vulnerable things you've been hiding within. Not many. And I'm afraid I'm doing this because I want other people to feel powerful in making the right decisions and better in their life. Right? One thing my stepdad said to me growing up, and it's, and I look back at it and I started finally using it. It's been 6 years, nearly 7 years since I've been clean, right? And I made the decision that I needed God in my life. I've been trying to live life on my own, and it hasn't worked. But I had to change my thinking. I had to get rid of my paranoia. I had to get rid of making stupid choices. A lot of them are just made irrationally instead of making rational decisions. And that's when I stood back and remembered something my dad said to me young that I should have taken into consideration a lot earlier. And he said to me, right, as an analogy, he goes, son, I want you to look at life as a game of chess. Because on a chessboard, I don't know if everyone knows, you've got your kings, your pawns, your knights and everything. But at the front, you've got pawns. Now, the rules when you move a pawn and you let go of that piece, that decision has to stay there. But if you held your hand on and thought about it, if it was right, you have the ability to move it back. Look at life with your choices this way. When you make a choice, I want you, this is what he said to me, think about 10 good things that could happen from that choice, 10 bad things that could happen from that choice, then evaluate them. Which one's up higher? From there, you'll be able to make more of a conscious decision making of whether you should do that or not. People think, oh, it sounds so simple. It's not really. Look how many times in life you've made rational decisions. Because we never evaluate things. We don't stop to think. So the thing is, when you look at that, you think, all right, now that's not going to better my life. That's not going to bring me peace. It's not going to bring me provision. It's not going to bring me love. It's not going to bring me happiness. Instead, it's actually going to cause chaos. It's going to hurt someone. It's going to bring pain, not just to me, but others. It's going to make things shit. So I'm going to pull that back. Or it could be the opposite. Yeah, actually, I can't see any repercussions from that. I make decisions. So when you keep having those thoughts on making better decisions, using that analogy will help you. Another one, in your frontal lobe here is where you make decision making. A lot of people don't use this, right? Not till after. They act first instead of thinking. A lot of times our brain ain't working properly and we make stupid choices is because we're hyperventilating or we're holding our breath. How often have you guys feel overwhelmed and stressed? You're breathing fast or you're holding your breath in. You know what happens? No oxygen is circulating in this strong muscle of yours. So it leaves you to make irrational decisions. So when you get to panic mode or stress, no matter what your situation is, take a step back. Whether you have to go sit in your car, go for a walk, tell everyone to shush, take a step back. Take 3 deep, long breaths, 10 if you have to, if you're overwhelmed, stressed, and breathe. And trust me, when you do this, your decision making is going to be so much clearer. You're going to be thanking me. Now, is this, with everything I said, going to happen overnight? No. It's taken me a long time to get where I am in my mind state. And I'm still growing. And can I tell you a secret? Until I die, I'll continue growing. Alright? So the thing is, but if you want things to move quickly, put more effort into them. Alright? We are in control of our own destiny, our own happiness, our own pains. And others are too. But we also, with our choices, have the ability to give life to others or bring death. And when I mean bring death, I mean bring suffering, pain, neglect, sorrow, sadness, hurt. But we also have the ability to bring love, kindness, giving, sharing, ambitions, motivation, support. You know what I mean? So we got to look at ourselves from within. Stop looking at others. Stop worrying about what they've got or I haven't got or this. Because what are you doing to try to earn it? If I have the ability to work on myself, work on me trying to find work, and yet still have the ability to help others daily, I mean daily. There's lots of things people don't see I do. And I'm not here to boast. There's a scripture that says, do something with your right hand without your left hand knowing. Right? Because we're not here for image, which a lot of society is about image. This is why I love when Jesus says to die to self. Right? People hate the Bible, yet the morals in it is something that the reason why the world's in chaos is because we're missing. A simple one. Do unto others as you'd like them to do to you. Simple one. No, it's too hard to fucking follow. Excuse my French. That's something that I'm working on too. It's my language. But habits don't change overnight. Right? I used to be a lot worse with my tongue. Swearing nearly every second word. So, from where I've come to now, that's progression. So we got to give ourselves praise when we're getting there. Another good way is step for motivation, which I'll probably share in the next video topic because it's getting pretty long now. But just focusing on choices, right? Choices is a powerful thing. In the Bible, we call it free will. Because no one can take it from you and no one can make you do anything. Only you, right? You have the power of choice. And only a negative person is going to listen to this video and find something to point out or something to pin instead of trying to make a better life for themselves. Trauma, pain, PTSD can make people do some terrible things, especially no acknowledgement. Because acknowledgement, a lot of people think of shame, neglect, or giving in, making themselves feel weaker. Actually, no, you're a stronger person. You know, it's a stronger person to break away from this society and live for good than it is to live for toxic and bad things. Anyone can do bad things. It's simple, it's easy. Everywhere you look, you've got an opportunity to steal something, mock someone, talk bad about someone. Easy. How hard is it to do good things? How hard is it to do the right thing? That's a strong person. So when we do this thing also, I want you to look at it as the best gift you could ever give anybody is time. Because you can't get it back. And if that time is done out of love, you're putting a precious gift on someone that is priceless. And don't do things for something in return. Anyway, that's my thought on choices. You can either take it or leave it. If you've got something negative to say, don't. Keep it to yourself. If you want to mock me, fine. But you know what? I love you. I wish you the best. I hope the best of life for you. I hope things can change and I hope you can reach that next level of change and doing the best things for yourself and others as well. God bless. Take care and peace.